Hello, hi, it's Lynn here and welcome to my channel, So Lindy Lou. I'm going to be doing a really quick introduction because we're actually going out for dinner this evening, but I just thought I would record the intro to show you my dress that I've just finished. So this is the Sew Over It Lucy dress, and this was part of my plans that I shared for August in my last video. So I've literally just finished it. It's hot off the sewing machine, and actually I'm a bit hot myself because I've just had a shower and dried my hair, put my makeup on, and we are all ready to go in a couple of minutes. So with the Lucy dress, I mentioned in my last video that there were a number of options for making this. You can make it just as a top, or you can make it as a short dress or a maxi dress. So I have made the midi version. I don't know if you'll see to where it comes to. It's just below my knee, just to there. So I really like this length of dress, and actually this is all the fabric I'd got available in this Minerva fabric that I had. I mentioned on the last video, you'll probably recognise it if you've been watching the Sewing Bee, because Kaz made a wrap dress in this particular fabric. So, and the thing that I was cautious of when I was cutting it out was the placement of these circles, because Kaz got one in an unfortunate position, and also the triangle. I almost got a triangle boob, but it's not, it's sort of off to the side. But what I also was trying to do was really line up the top and the bottom of the fabric. So you'll see front and back I've lined up the triangles and the rest of the pattern. So I'm quite pleased with that. But this afternoon I'm going to attempt not to swear on this because it did irritate me slightly making this dress. Most of it was absolutely fine, but two things actually. The first one is the neckline. It's actually got a bound neckline, and you attach the binding and then you roll it to the inside, and it actually ended up being quite heavy because the jersey is reasonably thick, and so you end up with almost three layers of the fabric together. And what I found was it kept drooping forward, so I ended up having to unpick the front of the neckline. I unpicked it just from the shoulder seam and sewed it again, and sewed it a little bit lower down. So I did it originally with the 1 centimetre seam allowance, or put the top stitching a centimetre away from the edge, but I had to just move it very slightly in further so that it didn't continue to roll over. So that was the first thing that was a bit irritating, so I did that earlier today. And then the other thing that I found irritating was my sewing machine. It has an automatic buttonhole on it, and most of the time it works absolutely fine, no problems whatsoever. But you can guarantee, even though you've tested it, which I did, I tested it on the same fabric, I put the interfacing behind where I was going to put the buttonhole, and it will work fine. As soon as I put it onto the dress, of course, it decided to only do the buttonhole half the size that it should have been. And as you'll know, it's really difficult to unpick a buttonhole, particularly on jersey, because the stitches sink into the fabric. So that was quite tricky to do. And I ended up actually doing the second one just by hand. So rather than using the automatic buttonholer, I just played around with the settings on the zigzag stitch, and I just used that rather than using the automatic buttonholer. So I've now ended up with 2 buttonholes, just 2, and the purpose of those was just to thread the cord through. And the other thing I did actually, which is different to the pattern, it suggests putting cord through. I didn't have any cord, and I forgot to buy some when I was last out shopping, so I just made a tie. I actually used the pattern piece from the Sagaro pants that I made recently, because it's the same thickness and it's quite a thin drawstring. Gosh, losing my words. Thin drawstring. So I thought actually that will be useful. I can just use the same pattern piece. So that's the finished dress. I'm really pleased with it. As you'll see, the drawstring just brings it in at the waist. I made the 14, which was consistent with my finished measurements. So I used the finished measurements on the pattern. Just so that you can compare that to what you might make. My measurements are, my full bust is 41 is that right? Yeah, 41 inches. My waist is 30 and my hips are 41. So that's sort of hourglass shape. So I love things that pull you in at the waist, because that's my body shape. So really pleased with this. It's a nice quick make, and now, as long as my buttonholer doesn't play up next time, hopefully it'll be a nice quick and easy make now I've made it the once. The other thing I just wanted to point out about this dress actually is the sleeve length. I really like this length, because if you're somebody who's fuller busted, some patterns actually have a slightly longer sleeve, and if you stop your sleeve length opposite the fullest part of your bust, it actually creates an additional horizontal, so it makes you look as though you're as wide as from the edge of your arm all the way across the bust and all the way to the other side of your arm. Whereas actually, if the sleeve ends either just above your bust or below your bust, so you might do an elbow length sleeve which is opposite your narrowest part, that actually gives that illusion of you not being as wide. So again, you know, some people, not everybody wants to worry about that. It's something that I particularly do pay attention to, so I just thought I'd share that tip as well. So there we are, that's my Lucy dress, and I will come back tomorrow morning and I will share with you the rest of my August makes that I've made so far. So I hope you have a great, it's a Saturday evening as I'm recording this, have a great Saturday evening, and all being well, provided I get time, I will share this tomorrow on Sunday. So take care and catch up tomorrow. Hello, I'm back after a very eventful 24 hours. So first of all, we had a brilliant time last night where I wore my Lucy dress that's just hanging up behind me here. It felt amazing. I did realise while I was out I hadn't tied in all of the little ends of the overlocking, so I did have a little piece hanging down, so hopefully nobody noticed that, and I've just put that right today. And I also added in a label. Let me see if you can see this on camera. So I used one of these Made with Love and Swear words from Kylie and the Machine. So I've just hand sewn that into the back neck on the dress today as well, because I only finished it just in the nick of time to wear it to go out last night, so I didn't have time to do all the little finishing off bits and pieces. But I don't know about you, I'm always very excited to wear a new make once it's finished. So despite the fact that it wasn't entirely finished, just in terms of the final sewing in the threads and what have you, and the label, I still wanted to wear it, so it felt amazing. So I think there will definitely be some more Lucy dresses coming my way. And I also just wanted to mention, because I didn't mention it yesterday before I went out, that the reason I was making this Lucy dress is it's part of the Thready Set Go membership for this month, and it's the dress that has been chosen. So towards the end of August there will be a get together where, just as we did last month for the Emily dress, we have a bit of a get together where we share our makes. So it'll be interesting to see who's made the t-shirt, who's made the shorter version of the dress, and who's made the maxi version. They all look great, the ones I've already seen on social media that have been shared, so really looking forward to seeing those. And I'm already on the hunt for some more fabric, because I'm pretty sure I've actually used all of the jersey that I had in my stash. I think that was the last piece I had, which was the Minerva fabric there behind me. So definitely be on the lookout for that. So if you're interested to know more about Thready Set Go and the membership there, I will post the link in the description box. There is a free version where you can get involved in. I think the free version just gives you access to the actual threads on the forum, but then there are different levels of membership, starting at as little as £5 a month. So there's sort of a community membership and then a plus membership as well, and they all give you different levels of what you get access to. So I tend to join probably about once a week if I can, the online sewing social sessions, which are really good because you get to chat to the other sewists and find out what they're sewing. And last time actually I just started to make the Lucy dress, and it was really useful to be able to ask about certain things in the pattern that I wanted to just check in on. So that was really great, so I highly recommend looking at that. So that was my my first make of April, which was in fact the second one. The first one I'm just going to show you. It's the one I'm wearing here. So I'll stand up and show you properly in a moment. You might have seen me share it on social media because I have put it on Instagram as well, and I am just So Lindy Lou on Instagram as well if you want to go and follow me there so you can see my makes in real time. So this one was also part of a sewing social group, and that is the Weekend Sewing Club, and that is one where you can join from the 25th to the 30th of the month, so that you can access the group and you get access to all the previous patterns that have been released. And it's the lovely Sarah from My Handmade Wardrobe that runs that group, and when you join you actually get access to all of the other patterns that have already been launched, and there are all sorts of tips and hints, and you know, if there are any tricky parts in the pattern, Sarah will do a tutorial so you can follow along and have a look at how to make that particular part of the pattern. And there is a session once a month where you can get together and actually make the entire garment along with Sarah. So the garment for August is this lovely side tie top and dress. So I'll just stand back so I can show you. So I just made the short version, which I'm just wearing with a pair of Karen Millen ready to wear shorts, and I use this lovely Lady McElroy cotton, and it's called Fashion Focused, which I believe is now sold out. I don't believe you can get this any longer, but you might find it still on eBay or, you know, some of the other sites that resell. But this is lovely fabric. It was a remnant that I had left because I'd already used it to make bag linings. I made 2 bags actually. I think I shared on the previous video I showed you one of the bag linings that I'd made, but I actually made a clutch bag as well, the Arch clutch, that I've shared on a previous video, and I used it in that as well. So it is actually also my entry for what's it called? It's O Scrap, that's right, O Scrap 25, because it is scrap fabric that I have left. So the top has got a number of different options. I chose to do the V-necks, that's my favourite neckline. There is also a round neck version as well, and you can see it's got these lovely side ties that bring the waist in, and it's the same sort of design for the dress. It's just a longer version, so you can make it as a tunic or a long dress depending on your preference. So it's just got 2 ties that are positioned front and back and then tied together, so very simple. So it was a nice quick make to do, and again I think I'll be making more of these as well. So those are the 2 makes that I've made so far in August, both very quick, and both made through either, you know, sewing clubs or sewing social. So really nice to be able to sew along with other people as well. And then I just thought I'd share with you, I did say I wasn't going to be ordering more fabric, didn't I? And I was going to use what I've got, but I've actually got an interview on Thursday, and I've got a gorgeous pair of trousers that are in this lovely blue. They are a bought pair from, I think they were from Me and M. I will post a picture on the next video actually, because obviously I've got to make this first of all to be able to wear with the trousers. So I got this most gorgeous fabric. I'm just going to show you the selvage because I think that's absolutely beautiful. So this is from Guthrie and Garney, and it's an exclusive design for Guthrie and Garney. They had a whole sort of Grecian group of fabrics that they had produced for them for this summer, and this one is called Ariadne. I believe they also do this in a pink and white, as well as this beautiful cobalt blue and white. It's a bit creased because I washed it and it's just come straight off the washing line, and I haven't yet ironed it, but I just love that. I think it's a beautiful design. It's a linen. So what I'm going to be doing with this is I'm going to make the Norma pattern by Fibermood. I've already made, I think, 2 or 3, yeah, probably 3 of those now actually. I made one for my mum. I've got one in a white double gauze, and then I made the one for So Fruity as well in June. So it's a nice straightforward pattern. I've made it 3 times, so as I haven't got much time to make it, I want to do a tried and trusted pattern. So that's what I am going to be making, hopefully this week. I say hopefully because you might remember on my last video I mentioned that my mum is not very well and she's been in hospital, so I've been going back and forth to visit, which of course has reduced the amount of free time I've got to be able to do any sewing. And then actually today my mother-in-law fell twice, and we've been back and forth to her house a couple of times as well to sort her out. Unfortunately, we're, you know, my husband and I are both that age where our parents are now getting quite elderly and need a little bit more care and attention. So I've no idea whether I'll actually get time to finish this blouse, because it just depends on the mums and how they're doing and how much support they're both going to need this week. So so that's where I am. That's why I've had quite an interesting 24 hours. So I will keep you posted on that and let you have an update on my next video. There's a couple more things that I just wanted to mention on here. I really wanted to say a big thank you. So first of all, I wanted to thank everybody who took the time to comment on my last video and send, you know, love and prayers and kind thoughts about my mum being poorly. So I really do appreciate that. It's really lovely and kind of you. It's a wonderful community, the sewing community. So thank you so much. I wouldn't share necessarily all the information about my private life, but I feel very comfortable doing that in the same community because it is so supportive. So thank you so much for that. A couple of other thank yous as well. There are two people that I wanted to mention who are vloggers who've got, you know, fantastic followings, and they have mentioned me on their vlogs to, you know, to say that I'm a new vlogger and to go along and have a look at my videos. So thank you so much first of all to Claire, who is Love Red Sews, and again I'll put the links to their vlogs below so you can go along if you don't already. I'm sure you probably do. If you don't already follow them, you can go and have a look at what they're doing. So Claire tends to do a weekly Sunday Sews catch up where she'll talk you through what she's made during the week, what's come into her sewing room, and then what she's planning for the week ahead as well. And then she does some additional vlogs as well sometimes, but they're the key ones that she does on a Sunday. So they tend to get posted early on a Sunday morning. So I tend to watch those on a Sunday morning with a cup of coffee because I'm always the first up in my house. Everybody else is snoozing. So it's nice to watch that with a cup of coffee. So I hope you enjoy that one if you don't already watch it. And the other one is my lovely friend Sam from Sew Let's Sparkle with Sam. Sam is a real character. I met her, actually, we live quite close to each other. She's in Leamington Spa and I'm just in a village on the edge of Stratford-on-Avon, so very close to each other. And I met Sam when she was working in Carolyn Rose Sewing School, where Sam was doing some sewing teaching, and also she worked in the shop there. You've probably seen her on some of the videos she used to do for Carolyn Rose. And we also ended up going and being on a table together at the dressmakers ball that the lovely Sarah Laws runs from My Handmade Wardrobe as well. So I'm sure you know Sam. She's a prolific vlogger. She does all sorts of things from tutorials to, at the moment, she's doing a lot around Sewing Bee. So I think she watches it about 4 times each week to be able to bring you her thoughts on the content from the show. So they're always really fun, really enjoyable to watch. And Sam's got quite a quirky personality, and her, you know, quirky makes that she picks as well. She has a background in space, so a lot of her fabric is space themed. So and she's got some really interesting makes that she's put together already, I've seen, for the O Scrap challenge as well. So I'm sure if you don't follow Sam or Claire already, then I'm sure you'll enjoy watching their vlogs. And then just a shout out for another new vlogger, and both Sam and Claire mentioned her as well, so I just thought I would also give her a shout out because I went and followed her from their recommendation. She's a lovely lady called Jasmine, and her vlog is called Jazzleberry Sews. And again, I've really enjoyed watching her vlog. She's quite a new sewer. I think she's been sewing for about a year. So her vlogs are very honest and open, and she talks through the trials and tribulations of learning to sew. So again, I think you'll really enjoy watching Jazz. She's got a great personality and really fun to watch as well. And there are a couple of other people actually that I also wanted to give shout outs, because these are people that have really inspired me as I was thinking, do I start a vlog, do I not? I decided to, because I think I've mentioned previously, I've got some time off in between jobs at the moment, so I'm just working on getting my next role and just looking for the right things. So I thought, while I was off, and to keep the old grey matter ticking over and to keep me accountable, because if I say I'm going to make something, then, you know, unless there've been challenges like I've had the last couple of weeks with poorly parents, then I will endeavour to do that, and it keeps me accountable to keep me on track as well. So the people that I want to mention are three fantastic ladies. You'll know them collectively as the Northern Soul Sisters, and then individually they are Ruan, who is the Yorkshire Sew Girl. It's Tamerlyn, who is Sewn on the Tyne, and then it's Rachel from Stitched Up, and they have really inspired me. They do their own individual vlogs, which I'll post the link to, but then collectively, as I say, they're called the Northern Soul Sisters, and they've become friends through sewing, and it's just fantastic to watch the makes that they pick, and they often make the same thing or possibly the same fabric but choose different patterns to suit their own style and body shape and colouring and personality. So it's really fun watching what they make, and again, just really inspiring to see. So I'd highly recommend. I'm sure you followed them already because they've got thousands of followers, but I'm sure you will you'll love watching them if you haven't already found them. I also wanted to give a shout out to Adam Sews. I met Adam at one of the events at the NEC, one of the sewing events, and I remember contacting him actually to say, oh, I love your caddies that you've made, do you have a pattern? And he's now, as you'll probably be aware, he's now released one. So I'm a bit slow on that because I'm not I don't normally do quilting. I've never tried it, in fact, but I really fancy having a go at one of those caddies. So he now has that pattern available. I've now bought it, as I say, a bit late to the party because I think he bought it out probably 6 months ago, but he's another great vlogger, particularly if you do quilting, because he talks about a lot in the quilting world, and he's a massive Tula Pink fan, and his sewing room is something to behold if you haven't seen that. It looks like a shop, and I think he does actually sell some of the fabric as well as the patterns as well, and the finished goods that he makes. So he'll sell the caddies that he's made himself. So check out Adam Sews. And then there's one other person I wanted to mention, and that is Megan from her vlog. Again, it's a relatively new one, but it's built up very quickly because I think she already had quite a large Instagram following, and I know that she is an ambassador for Guthrie and Garney, and that's Megan at Slipping Stitches is her vlog. So again, she makes some beautiful things, and I think in fact she has made something in this fabric and in the pink one. So if you want to see them made up, you'll be able to see them on Megan's Instagram or on her vlog. So I'm just checking, did I miss anybody? I think they were the key people. Oh, actually no, there's a couple more. Also Rachel at the French Seams. Again, she is a prolific maker. She has so many things, and she's done some brilliant vlogs recently about things to make for holidays. So not just garments, but she actually talks about useful things for traveling, bags, you know, passport holders, all those sorts of things that you would find really useful. And it's just a nice video to bring it all together and give you some ideas. And I thought actually really good ideas. I know it's too early to mention the C word, but you know, good old Christmas presents if there's something there that you want to hand make as a gift. So Rachel at the French Seams is another one to watch, and she makes some beautiful dresses. She just did a vlog actually about the 10 dresses that she has made this year and wears a lot, and they are beautiful. So there's a couple from there that I've had my eye on and thought, actually, I really love that dress, and I've seen it made up. So and just some inspiring makes, again, to give you some ideas, because I don't know about you, but I'm always looking for new ideas. Sometimes you tend to see the same pattern made over and over again, particularly if it's a new launch and you've got lots of ambassadors sharing the same pattern, and that can be sometimes a bit tedious because you're just seeing the same thing over and over again. I like to see different things. I like things that are unique, and obviously with sewing we can all make them unique because we can make them in our own style. our own colouring. You know, we can choose the fabric, etc., and choose the style of pattern to suit us the best. But I'm particularly interested in looking for interesting patterns that are a little bit different, that perhaps not everybody is making, she says, as I've just made two from sewing schools where we're all making the same thing. But you know, on the whole, I do like to make things that are quite unique. So that's what I'm on the lookout for at the moment. And I was actually thinking about what I'm going to be doing next, because we are, as well as all the other stuff going on in our life, we are looking to move house as well. So I will be doing a sort out of my wardrobe. So I thought what I would do is create a video where I take you through a wardrobe edit and show you how I would do that. So really cataloguing all the items I've got, particularly the Me Mades, and then looking where the gaps are, because what I don't want to do is just keep getting drawn like a magpie to new things if they're not really going to fit in my wardrobe. I want to make sure that I've got things, either, you know, Me Mades or some ready to wear items that I can wear them with. So that's my plan coming up, obviously depending on if I get time with the poorly mums that we have at the moment. So that's my next piece that I'm going to be working on, I think, so that I can actually add some makes into my wardrobe that really fit and actually plug the gaps. And hence that was the thought with this shirt that I'm going to be making next. That's really going to go with the trousers I already have, and they're gorgeous trousers. I've only worn them a few times, and I really want to find a pattern actually that is similar to them, because I love them and I'd really like to make a pair. So when I share that those trousers along with the blouse when I've made it, I'll get your thoughts on which pattern might work best actually to sort of replicate those trousers in a Me Made. So I think that's it for now. It was a longer video than I thought it would be actually, so sorry for the rambling. I hope it all makes sense, and I hope you enjoy the shout outs if there are people that you're not already following. Have a great sewing week, and as I say, I don't know how much sewing I'll get done this week with all the goings on with the mums, but hopefully I'll get a chance to make this shirt. That's the key one that I want to make, and I will get back to that beautiful broderie anglais fabric, otherwise I'm not going to get a chance to wear it this week, am I? Or, sorry, this year I should say, this summer, because it is very much a summer fabric. I was thinking I might actually make one of these side tie tops in it. I think that would work really well for this pattern, and I will get back to the 12 that I was making from the pattern drafting course that I went on. I know they've actually got some spaces, in fact, for September for the next My Handmade Wardrobe retreat, which is over in Market Harbour, and it was, I can't tell you how fantastic it was. I really recommend that. So if you are looking to draft your own bodice block so that you can then make your tops to your heart's content to suit you and your body shape and your size perfectly, then I would recommend looking up My Handmade Wardrobe and having a look at their 3-day retreats that they have. So I think that is definitely it for now. I'll stop waffling and have a brilliant rest of the weekend. If I manage to get this out on Sunday, I suspect by the time it's all loaded up and done its thing in the iCloud and loaded up to YouTube, it may be Monday by the time it comes out. But if it is Sunday, have a brilliant rest of Sunday. If not, have a brilliant next week, and I will catch up with you next week with an update on my vlog. Take care. Thanks so much for watching, and thank you for all the lovely comments. Bye for now.